Okay, happy Friday, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a great week. I'm currently on the road, so a little bit of a different location here this morning, but we have a few things to speak about for sure. Just give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me in the Discord as we speak at the moment. I'm going to let the rest of the guys know that I am live. We've got a few things to obviously discuss. We had a massive market sell-off yesterday, and I actually managed to catch a piece of the move. So we'll speak about that. We've got a few other things to discuss. And then we'll see you on stream. Andre and I are trading live today for the Open. So I hope that you guys are going to be on for that too. Perfect. But let's get into it. You guys should be able to hear and see me. Let me know if everything is working in the back end, and then we can get going from there. Perfect. So we got the ES chart up here. I mean, just a massive move yesterday. We actually have to go to the 50-minute time frame just to see this. But yeah, I mean, from high to low yesterday, we were up at almost 800, 6,800 on ES. We closed on the lows 3% lower for a 200-point move. I mean, it's probably one of the biggest days I've seen personally in my 8 years of trading on ES from high to low. Just give me a thumbs up. You guys can hear me in the Discord. You guys can hear me live here on stream as well. And then we can continue and get going with the stream. Perfect. So just check. You guys should be able. Yeah, you guys should be able to hear me. It's coming through my side. Okay, so let's get into it. So obviously yesterday, so I really like the shorts. I took NQ shorts, so we can actually go over my two trades. It's actually crazy. Look where I got out of my position. That's pretty wild. Look at that. I got out at opening range low, and this thing just carried on melting. That was my second entry, which I got about 70, 80 points on, and just continues to melt. So it's actually ridiculous when you actually see this move. Look at that. I think on NQ, from high to low on NQ yesterday, we were over 1,200 points. Okay, so let's remove those drawings. Let's go like this. So my trades yesterday, and we can walk over them. My trades yesterday were pretty simple, and I took these live as well. So I took the first one was a loser. I tried to short as we came back below the New York session open VWAP, right off, coming off opening range high. And then I shorted as we broke the New York session VWAP. We didn't get any follow through. I cut it as we moved back above the high over there. That was my first trade, okay? And then basically the second trade that I did take is as soon as we get back inside the highs like that, I took it over there and got out at the opening range low. So that was about 100 points that I took out on NQ yesterday. Of course, you know, if I just walked away from after stream and just come back like an hour later, would have been trading, you know, 1,000 points lower from my entry, which is pretty crazy to speak about. But yeah, I mean, today, what we can see in the markets, we got some news coming out as well. So please keep an eye on that. We did have NFP yesterday, and we do have some news as well. So let's bring that up too. And then we'll go over some H4 reports, any reports that you guys want me to cover. But we do have some news, flash manufacturing PMI coming out as well. Okay. And that will be 50 minutes after the US market open. So please keep an eye out for that. We have kind of been bottoming out here, which is not unusual, obviously, given that we've had such a massive move yesterday. It'll be interesting to see what we do get. Mag 7 stocks are trading higher here, and NVIDIA back up. We can also obviously speak about NVIDIA because this is kind of what drove that move. But we were trading going into earnings at about 186. We rose overnight, up 5% overnight. Okay. And then straight back down yesterday. So this is something also why I did like my NQ shorts. If you put on a VWAP here from the open yesterday. So yes, markets were rising higher on NQ and ES, but look on NVIDIA, which obviously is a massive mover in those markets. And I managed to get a short. I got out the previous day's lows on NVIDIA. But basically what we did get is, look how we don't take the opening range high out on that NVIDIA chart. And that kind of made me like the shorts on NQ as well. I was using the two in confluence with each other. And I think that's something that has helped me as well in terms of being able to find quality setups. Let me know if you guys got any questions, but I'm just going to walk through this. We'll bring up a few more articles, and then yeah, we'll be live for the open, Andre and I, today on the Edgeful socials, right? So again, as I said, the reason why in the video was giving me a little bit of an entry in terms of looking for those NQ shorts was, look how we don't take the opening range high and we trade underneath this New York session V-up. And when I saw this starting to fall off a bit over here at about an hour and a bit into the open, hour and 20 minutes into the open, we break the lows. That's when I took my shorts on NVIDIA and I got out at previous day's lows. Of course, we continued to tank, just unprecedented sell-off yesterday. But the fact that we weren't looking particularly bullish and making any structure above that opening range high on NVIDIA told me that we could possibly see shorts on NQ. And that's why I did have those two trades on NVIDIA, on NQ, right? One on NVIDIA, one on NQ. The first one on NQ being a loser, second one being a winner. So two trades, sorry, on NQ, one trade on NVIDIA yesterday. So yeah, in terms of just taking advantage of this move, you know, maybe leaving runners could have been better for me yesterday. I spoke about in my daily report card. And that is definitely, yeah, that is definitely, you know, a work on of mine is that I do take profits. And I spoke about this yesterday in the pre-market stream, is that I'm here to make money, not to call levels. And we don't know that this is just going to continue running, but it's definitely something that I need to be better on for myself. Anything that you guys are working on this week in your trading? Any questions in the chat? We'll go over a few, obviously, H4 reports as well. Okay, see any chats here in the Discord. Okay, so let's bring up a few of the H4 data from yesterday. And yeah, I think NVIDIA clearly yesterday was trading, and I spoke about this yesterday, that opening candle continuation is very, very powerful. I personally have use the 60 minutes. Let's change it back to the 60 minutes. Okay, let's save that. And with that first 60 minutes being bearish on NVIDIA as well after the open, definitely told me that we could start to roll over in indexes. In the last 6 months, and we can look at a larger time frame as well, but in the last 6 months on NVIDIA, if the first hour is bearish, there's 77% chance that we do get a bearish closing day, and vice versa for, 79% for the bears and vice versa for the longs, 77. So 79 and 77, pretty consistent there across the board. And I just find that first hour does tend to help me find a solid bias for the rest of the day. I think a lot of the times, if you guys are struggling as traders, guys always ask me, James, what about the data? Using the data, you got to use it with price action, right? You got to use it with price action. Any questions? How's your week been? How's everyone's week been this side? Yeah, I can see, guys. We can go over some Tesla. Yeah, how's it, James? Yep, good morning. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. It's been a pretty solid week of, even month for me so far. I can bring up my charts. I think yesterday I could have, as I said, milked more out of the market. I took my trades and then got off the desk my side, but I can go to my dashboard over here. Let's go to date range. Let's go this month. That should be able to come up right now like that. So I'm up, 25 grand this month. That's pretty nice. But always trying to push myself. I've had 2 losing days this month. One of the days, I think I was just trying to trade against the trend, just being a little bit stupid that side, but then being green this whole week so far, which has been pretty nice across personal and prop firm accounts. So that's been my month so far. Let's go over some Tesla. We've got some guys asking for Tesla opinions. Yeah, I mean, Tesla was a little bit more tricky compared to NVIDIA. You see how on Tesla we break the opening range high. So let's just put on that New York session view app, open view app. So it opens at 4:30 South African time. Tesla a little bit more tricky in my opinion. We take out the highs, which could induce traders for some longs in terms of from a technical aspect. But I think in terms of the fundamentals, as I said, this looks more similar to NASDAQ, where we take out the opening range high and then we get back into it. So I think, maybe you're taking a loss on Tesla looking for longs. And then obviously we snap back underneath that New York session view app and we literally drop on Tesla. We literally dropped from the highs down to the lows where we closed. I mean, 7%, that's a massive move, $30 move on Tesla. We are trading higher pre-market here, so it's going to be interesting to see if we base out. So if we just go to Tesla or NQ, they are moving pretty similar. So let's go to NQ. If this base can hold personally for me overnight, so on NQ, that would be the level of 24K, okay? If that base can hold, I definitely think we could see, a rebound here today. On ES, the level would be, for me, 530 on ES. If that base can hold, we can maybe see some of this gap filling from yesterday on that massive move one direction down. But yeah, I've had a solid month, and you'll take the good with the bad, right? You can't have the great days without the bad days. Right? I told you some of my work-ons. Everyone should have a work-on that they're working on each and every single week. Can you tell the level of QQQ and Tesla? Yeah, so QQQ, I don't really obviously trade options, but we can go to QQQ. It would pretty much be similar to, I'm assuming, to the Tesla level. Probably, well, price action looks pretty similar. But let's get that up. QQQ. Yeah, I appreciate that, Hoa. Yeah. How's your month been, Hoa? How's your month been your side? How's everything been your side, the trading wise? What have you been trading mostly this month? I know you trade a little bit of everything. There you go. So QQQ, the level on QQQ would kind of be, I mean, the lows are for pre-market lows, 580 on QQQ. If we can hold that, I definitely think we could get some rebound. But if we flush the lows and don't snap back, I think it could be another day where we just sell off. So that level will be very important. So it will be 580 on QQQ, Asad. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. The QQQ and NQ are basically the same thing, just the options, right, of that. So that's the levels on that I'm watching at this morning. Any questions in the chat? And then Tesla, we can go over Tesla as well. I don't know why the charts are taking a little bit long here to load this morning. We'll get them up. Yeah, mostly QQQ. Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So as I said, I think if we take these levels here on NQs, that 24K, if we come down and we take this level and we don't snap back hard, kind of like as a false breakout, I think we could get another flush. Yeah. I think we could get another flush down lower for sure. Tough. You don't want to get in front of a steam train right now at the minute. So I took those trades live on ASFX TV yesterday. The link is in my bio for those streams. But on Mondays and Fridays, I am live with Andre and the Edgefield team. And we've got a few things coming as well. So Tesla, some guys are asking for some Tesla levels here in the chat. Again, I think it's pretty similar and simple to what I'm looking at on the indexes. Those lows are going to be very, very important today, and what I'm going to be watching heading into the open. And you'll be able to see that live with Andre, with what I'm looking at, right? So as I said, Tesla, yeah, I mean, those lows are going to be super important. If we take those, I think we could start to bleed. Was there such a crazy day yesterday because Nvidia was actually up 5% pre-market, and then we just continued to fall away. But I think if you lent into that Edgefield data where that first hour being bearish, you could have maybe seen that coming. I just felt, and this is in my just years of trading, years of experience, when I saw the bit of divergence between NQ and Nvidia, I saw Nvidia trying to hold the New York session. That's why I always encourage you guys to have a look at VWAP. It's very objective. There's no subjectivity in it. So when I saw Nvidia holding that pre-market, those underneath pre-market lows, as well as underneath that New York session VWAP like this, I told myself, and I was saying on stream to the guys, Austin, Ev, and the team, I was just saying to myself, listen, I know we're moving higher on NASDAQ and ES. So I tried the first short, took a loss. You're not going to be right every trade. Took the loss, cut it quickly. And then I got back in the shorts and got full out at the opening range low. As I said, my work on potentially going forward is to be able to hold for larger moves. But at the end of the day, I'm here to make money. And clearly on my dashboard, that seems to be working. Now, I think I could have had a bigger trading day yesterday. And that's where it can maybe sometimes make your month or make your quarter. But I think from a perspective of here to take good trades, make money, and have a plan and process, I think I did well on that. You're never going to catch all of the move. And sometimes you just got to be happy with actually executing well. I think I executed well yesterday. My first trade on NQ was loser. Then I got back in, got the winner. And then I took a nice trade on Nvidia as well. Can always do better. But yeah, I trade anything. Can concur with your advice about marrying price action with reports. Started doing that a lot more this week. I agree. I think, Edgefield data is great. Fantastic, actually. But you have to line it up with price action. You can't just come and say, okay, well, everything's printing long. I'm going to look for longs, but price action is telling a different story. You got to be looking at levels. You got to be looking at price action in the moment, right? Yeah, so that is a good point from this week. Okay, let's see what the guys over at CNBC are saying. You guys know I love that, using it for live news. We'll bring up a couple of articles here that we can look at. But just in terms of what I was saying now on stream about having something that you're working on each and every single week. I was reading a blog post the other day, and let's bring it up here. I really enjoy this blog post, and you guys can go have a look at it. Over here, it's Trader Feed. So this is actually the trading psychologist for SMB Capital, which I really enjoy. But there was one here. Where was it? In October. Where was it? Yeah. Finding a lesson in each market day. I can put this in the chat too. But yeah, just finding a lesson every single day that you can be working on. Some days are going to be great. Some days your execution is going to be spot on. You're trading well. You're in the flow state with the markets. And other days you're just not on it. And welcome to trading. It's not going to be perfect all the time. But I think that's where you got to have positive motivations, positive mindsets, and have a growth mindset where you're looking to get better each and every single day, right? So that is my thought process on that. You're not going to be great every single day, but you have to have that growth mindset in terms of bettering yourself as a trader and looking to make money long-term in this game. Any other questions in the chat? Hoa? Any other questions? Asad, you guys have been great. As always, I appreciate you being on for the live streams. Any other questions here in the chat? Yeah, so Bitcoin falls below 81,000 for the first time since April 11th. So that's something obviously that we have to speak about. This was on the Kobesi letter, however you pronounce that. It's a great news site to follow on Twitter as well. But breaking, Bitcoin falls below 81K for the first time since April 11th, now down 36% in 46 days. Over $1.5 billion worth of leverage positions have been liquidated in 4 hours. Welcome to crypto. Jeez. Heavy. Yeah, that's that is a tough one. Anyone trade crypto here using the H4 reports? Anyone trade crypto here using the H4 reports? So as I said, you guys can, hit the link in my bio if you are watching this on socials. The H4 link is my bio. You can get a 7-day free trial over there. And then as well, as I said, I'm live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on ASFX TV. The code is here. And then Monday and Friday, I am live on the H4 free YouTube channel where you can watch me and Andre trade live. Last week we had, I believe also it was a short on NQ. I had a short on NQ. I think Andre took a first one. He tried to take long and then he lost, and then he took a short winner the second trade. And I had one position where I had a larger stop loss on, so I got the shorts from a pretty nice level. So yeah, we'll see if we can catch anything to end off the week and stay on top of it. Let's just go over. Just sign in here. Yeah. Okay. So let's get some pro news up here and see what markets these oaks have been saying overnight as well. I always love using CNBC. I love listening to the streams. You can pick up great, they get some great guests on as well. Yeah. Yeah, let's see what they are saying here. Okay, so Friday's big stock stories. What's likely to move the market in the next trading session? The Nasdaq is down 3.8% in 4 days. Volatility is back. Let's just have also a look at the volatility index yesterday. That was also volatility index yesterday was trading way higher. Look how we sparked. Volatility index higher. Stocks in that normally tend to take a little bit of a dip, but we can see it's actually coming down today. So it is obviously good for that longs, that level, that the lows that I was saying that we could hold. All still within 10% of their 52-week highs within the, it's about 4% from its November 12th high. On Thursday, the market saw the highest volume since tariff week back in early April. And that's what we're saying now with Bitcoin as well, is that, those April lows on Bitcoin have just been hit, and that's been super interesting. I was actually having a look at the SA40 overnight, which is the South African market index. I know a lot of South African traders, whether you are, this is a great market to trade well, simply because it tends to trend and the moves are very, very, you got to obviously manage risk no matter what you trade, but the moves are very, very nice. I was watching these shorts back down to this level. I mean, that moves 1,400 points in the matter of an hour and a bit. And now we actually right back up at those highs. So this is a great index to trade. I must actually get them to get it on the H4 reports. The DAX overnight trading lower, but still bouncing. I know a couple of the guys in my coaching program were taking some longs here at the open, using the opening range, the London session obviously opening range because it is a European market index, but taking longs above this opening range high like this, like that, and then they were getting out within these highs over here. So that was a nice move, but volatility definitely back because that moves, and my DAX algo with H4 actually took those longs. It's a 161 point move in the matter of 30 minutes to the highs there. So yeah, if you are trading futures contracts this morning, I think the name of the game is to size down. Don't marry positions, and keep it tight. You want to give larger stop losses on these positions, and we'll speak about this with Andre on stream today, as I mentioned. If you want to join me live on stream, some of the guys, I was getting questions. The link is in my bio. I trade live every single day. I took those 2 trades yesterday live on stream, right? And you can be on with me every single day if you want. Walking through my trade ideas, but also is great as well. So we are actually back at session highs here. Again, we do have news coming out 50 minutes into the US market open, that flash manufacturing PMI. So let's please keep an eye out on that. And that could obviously shake up markets a little bit too. But on ES, if we hold these lows, I think I am happy with looking for longs and continuation. We are back towards a weekly VWAP, right? Which on ES would be back at 650, call it 660. Any questions in the chat here right now while I am live on stream. Is Andre coming on for today's session? Yes, he should be. So as I said, I trade live in my own trading room with a couple of other guys, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then Monday and Friday, I am live with Edgefill. Okay, so that's my live stream process for the week. If you guys want to join me every day, you can. We are currently running a free month for my personal live stream using the code FIRST. The link is in my bio. But then Mondays and Fridays are free with Andre. Andre should be coming on today. Yes, he has not told me that he isn't, so he should be on today. Yeah, so I'll be again, live in a bit. If you guys want to check me there, we will start at about 9 a.m. Eastern time today. What is the best way to use the Edgefill data? That's a good question. My advice would be to find 2 or 3 reports that you enjoy and then have them up on your screen every single day. The thing I like about Edgefill as well is while you are trading, you can have the screen up. You can look at this is the Edgefill reports, and then there's a video to show how to use the screen up. But I've got a few Edgefill reports that I really like to use. I don't know why that gap fill one's down there. I must put the gap fill here. So I like using that opening candle continuation, the orb report, and the RB report. I also do like that previous day's range report. Sometimes it's changed. I need to actually save this. But those are the reports that I like to use. So what I would suggest is have the screener up with your favorite reports that you look at. Okay, have them up while looking at price action. Obviously, you got the algos. The algos will do their own thing in the background. But the way I would use it is have this Edgefill screener up in live market data while you're looking at price action. And then your reports. If your reports, so someone asked me, what happens if your reports are telling you one thing and the price action is telling you another? Well, surely you would want to sit on your hands. Again, I've been speaking and preaching about this in the pre-market streams all week and last week, is knowing when to push and knowing when to back off. On Wednesday, heading into NVIDIA earnings, I said that I was going to play small. If you look at my daily report card, my P&L, I only had $600 on that day. Okay, only $600. It's green. I made money, but I kept my position sizing really, really small. I didn't trade all of my accounts. I traded a few prop firm and personal accounts, not all of them, because I knew going into NVIDIA earnings, and could I have made more because we had a massive flush up and then a flush back down. I could have probably made more. There was some clean price action then, but I committed to being big. I always have the same, big, small, or not at all. So on Wednesday, I kept it small. Coming into Thursday, I knew that price action could be a little bit more volatile as well. So I traded a little bit more size on, but still didn't want to get caught up in anything post NVIDIA earnings. So have a game plan come in, and then match it up with price action. Trade less. If the data is telling you one thing, but price action is telling you another, surely that's a sign for you to maybe sit on your hands and not trade. So that's my advice for trading with the Edgefill data. These are some good questions. Any other questions before we wrap up pre-market here? Then I'm going to get ready for the US market open with Andre in the next 30 minutes. Any questions here, guys? Any more questions? Wednesday through to Friday, pre-market streams, and I'm live on stream every single day. So that's where you can catch me. I hope that you guys enjoy these pre-market streams, get some value from them. And I'm not just talking bullshit the whole time. I bet you actually are learning and taking what you can from them, and learning from what I do well and what I do badly, and learn from them when you take short. Or what do you mean by that, Assad? Are you saying now, for today, or when? What criteria I use? Yeah, okay. So for shorts, below New York session VWAP and below opening range low. Typically, I like for shorts, and vice versa for the longs, below, above New York session VWAP and above opening range high. Those are the criteria that I use. But obviously, sometimes we might be above New York session VWAP and coming off a low, but be underneath the opening range. So I might look at that as a good entry point. So I think the easiest way is to use for me, I use that New York session VWAP and price action. If we're trading above it, I want to be looking for longs. If we're trading below it, I want to be looking for shorts. As simple as that. We can speak more about that on stream today in actual live price action. As I said, we had a nice short last week, Friday on stream. And I think this week, we got some volatility. There could be some nice potential entries. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. We got the live stream in the next 20 to 30 minutes. We'll see you guys on there. Let's end the week off on a strong note. Appreciate you guys, all the chats, all the questions. We'll see you guys in a bit.